Next 40 years.
Here, let's
The
watch
Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola
Fuck
is one
Tucker
of
Carlson.
America's most unusual prisons because it is, in some ways, a plantation.
Not some ways,
Once
in
you
every
pass
way.
through Angola's front gate, you can't help.
By the way, this is one of the worst dickheads on the fucking planet. So I'm sure his take on this is going to be incredibly annoying. I hate Jeffrey Goldberg, obviously. If you don't know, he is... I'm surprised that he took time out of taking MBS's dick out of his mouth to fucking cover this thing, okay? Surprising. I don't like The Atlantic, and I don't like Jeffrey Goldberg, but let's see what he had to say.
Feel that you've gone back in time to another South.
It's the largest maximum security prison in the country. Right now, there are 6,300 prisoners. The majority are murderers, you have rapists, you have people who've committed assault, drug felonies.
How long are you here for? Next 40 years. What was the charge? 4 counts?
Roughly 75% of the prisoners are here serving life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Louisiana has some of the toughest sentencing laws in the country, and these guys are not going home.
Rehabilitation and reform. Yeah.
For most of its history, Angola has been a fearsome place, but in recent years, it's become relatively docile.
People credit the warden, Burl Cain, who's this very unlikely character, of devising a way to get Angola under control.
I'm Burl Cain. I'm the warden of Louisiana State Penitentiary.
Look at this fucking guy! Oh! Oh! Bro, come on, brother. Dog, he looks like Jabba the fucking Hutt. Oh! My man said, my name is Burl Cain, dude. What the fuck? Dude, this is like... Dude. What do I always say when you've got so much evil in you that like it seeps out? This is an example of this, okay? And don't you dare say, Hassan, Burl Cain might not hear what you have to say, but a chatter that looks like him will. And it's like, no one looks like him. Okay? Are you the Godskin Noble? Are you in the chat right now? Huh? Are you an Elden Ring boss in the chat watching me? Are you a big Hasanabi head, Godskin Noble? No? Then shut the fuck up. Burl Cain. I'm losing it, dude. This is fucking insane.
I've been the warden here about 20 and a half years.
When you got this job...
He's popping. He's blasting, dude. Oh, my God. Holy fuck. This is Mitch McConnell if they inflated him with helium, okay? Him and Mitch McConnell make up the Godskin duo. Like, they literally do. One's skinny, one's fat, and together they make up the duo boss that you can defeat in Elden Ring.
Been here about 20 and a half years.
When you got this job, what did you find when you came up here?
There was blood, there was stabbing, there was fighting, and it was totally out of control. It was every man for himself. I realized pretty quick in my career that moral people don't rape, pilfer, and steal. Moral people aren't criminals. And so the best thing I could do real quickly was to get this place as moral as I could, and it would curb the violence.
How do you impose morality on a population that is 3/4 murderers serving life sentences without the possibility of parole?
Well, the basic thing was they were hopeless. It was hopelessness. With the life sentence, there's no hope you're going to ever get out. And so the moral rehabilitation caused the hope. To learn to work is basic rehabilitation. Many of them never worked in their life. They just stole. The guy that's driving the $250,000 combine.
Bro, this is literally slave labor, dude. He's describing slave labor. Like, he's saying, I freed them. I liberated these people by forcing them into slave labor, okay? God, this is so America, dude. This is the most American fucking moment, dude. Yeah, no, you know who else thought work would set you free, by the way? Nazis, famously. Arbeit macht frei. You know. For people who don't know Jeffrey Goldberg's history as a IDF guard, Atlantic's new editor was IDF prison guard and beat Palestinians. Jeffrey Goldberg. I mean, that's just one of the things. I mean, he's just a monster across the board.
Is an inmate making 20 cents an hour. That's meaningful work for them.
Hey, actually, they're making 20 cents an hour, so technically it's not slave labor.
I've been here since 2008. I got a second-degree murder charge.
What's it like the first day when the prison comes to you and says, okay, now you're working on the farm?
Well, then when I first came here, I see the kind of type of work here. I figured like this, I said, that work not gonna be bad, you know. I love doing hard work, though.
You think these young guys like to work? They like to
No, them guys don't like to work at all.
Yeah, you just
Before the Civil War, Angola was
when you don't like the work, you just whip them a little bit, right? You know, I mean, that's you know, this is what you got to do, right? It's slave labor. Labor under coercive conditions, such as being imprisoned, is slave labor. Okay, there's no two ways around it. Not the coercive conditions that capitalism brings about. I'm talking just like straight up coercive conditions that even capitalists recognize. Okay, this is just these people are dealt an incredibly fucking shitty hand with no options whatsoever. They're a product of their environment. They're a product of their material conditions. They end up in that cycle of violent crime, and then they are institutionalized. And once they are institutionalized, they have no way of getting out. And now they are, you know, slaves for Louisiana State.
a plantation. Today, there's a reasonable chance that some of the men working this farm are descendants of the slaves who once picked cotton here.
Once a prison doctor clears an inmate for work, that prisoner's got a job, whether he likes it or not. Some of the prisoners get paid as little as 2 cents an hour.
How you doing? Good to see you. I'm all right.
Got locked up July 25th, 1981.
What was the charge?
Second-degree murder.
Did you do it?
Nah,
No? No. But you're here.
I'm here.
Are you free to just go around the
Did you do it? Yeah. Let me tell you something, okay? You know that dude should probably not be in prison anymore, okay? 1981, he went to prison. If a fucking limp dick wimp like Jeffrey Goldberg is not even afraid to fucking talk to you, regardless of whether there are armed guards around him or not, okay? Then that means like you have that's proof. That's proof. You're not going to cause harm to anyone, okay? Straight up. Straight the fuck up. No shot. No shot. Jeffrey Goldberg's the biggest fucking coward. 41 years he's been in fucking prison. What do you want? What do you want from this dude?
Old penitentiary with me, I said, I love it.
So you've been here for more than 3 decades. How has Angola changed since you got here?
Ooh, Lord. Man, it done changed so much. It's just like days.
He's polite, so he's harmless. Lamau, okay. No, man. He's harmless because he's been in prison for 40 fucking years. What's he gonna do, bro? At the age of 60, go out and do murders? Are you fucking stupid? Dude, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. White supremacy is so incredibly fucking prescient. It is straight up, dude. If you look at a motherfucker like this and you go, nah, dude, this guy needs to rot in fucking prison for the remainder of his fucking life, it's like you're a psycho, okay?
From day to night, you know?
Louisiana's harsh sentencing laws mean that most prisoners are here for life, which means that Burl Cain had to devise a new system to keep prisoners on the straight and narrow.
One of the ways he did this was to Christianize the prison. There are churches everywhere, services are run every day. Hundreds of inmates are now trained as ministers. One of the Christian groups in Angola is called Malachi Dads. These are a group of inmates, Christian inmates, who are training other inmates on how to be fathers to their children who are outside the prison.
My name is Ron Hicks, and I've been incarcerated 25 years. I'm serving life sentence for second-degree murder.
My name is Darrell Waters. I'm from Gibson, Louisiana, and I was sentenced to second-degree murder in 1992.
My name is George Gillum. I am from New Orleans. I am currently serving a life sentence for second-degree murder. We discovered in 2006 that a child of an incarcerated father had a 70% likelihood to come to prison. And so we discovered...
What do you mean? That's like, that's deliberate. That's by design, dude. That is by design. Dude, things have not changed, okay? Someone in the chat already said Christianity was used for controlling African slaves. Like, nothing has changed. In Angola, in the Louisiana State Penitentiary, things are exactly the same as they were during the time of slavery. This is just slavery. It is exactly what that is. We have talked about this warden executioner in Alabama. Yeah, we watched this before. They all look like this, bro. Jesus Christ. Slavery with a Gucci belt, Hasanabi. I mean, there is no Gucci belt in this situation either. They're not even really trying to fucking whitewash this. They're just straight up kind of like, they're like, why fix it if it ain't broke, brother? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the attitude. How about just don't do murder? Thank you, dude. Brilliant. Can we just give a round of applause to Cuddlemeyer? Thank you. Thank you so much, dude. Brilliant take. Can they just not murder? Yeah. No, I look at like people that have served fucking 25 years in prison, like people that have been in prison for longer than they've been out. And that's my first inclination is like, shouldn't have done the crime if you can't do the time. Like that's my fucking take immediately. Thank you. No, that was brilliant, dude. You're so fucking smart, dude. You're so fucking smart, dude. It's such an incredible... Hassan could have been a preacher. How about just don't do murder? Can they just not murder? How does he go from BLM protesters was largely peaceful to this, dude? Would it kill you to laugh, Hassan? I kind of want to hear what his take is. Hold on, not your average African. Let's hear this person come to terms with what his attitude is. Also, like, you know, I love seeing a bunch of black people, okay, in the Louisiana State Penitentiary, and immediately assuming like, oh no, they're definitely murderers, like for sure, they've definitely done it, and also they deserve to be in prison for the rest of their lives, and do slave labor. Like while watching a plantation happen in front of my eyes, I look at that and go, yeah. Second-degree murder is the killing of a human being when the offender has a specific intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm, or when the offender is engaged in the perpetration of attempted perpetration for aggravated or first-degree rape, forcible second-degree rape, arson, burglary, kidnapping, escape, assault by drive-by shooting, armed robbery, first-degree robbery, second-degree robbery, simple robbery, cruelty to juveniles, second-degree cruelty to juveniles, or terrorism, even if he had no intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm. When the offender lawfully distributes or dispensed a controlled dangerous substance, as in, if you sell a drug, John Lennon looking ass, please get haircut. Oh my God. Oh my God. John Lennon looking ass, if untie your hair. I fucking love this community. Swear to God. Just a bunch of fucking freaks. God damn it, that's good. Truth equals ban? No, I'm not banning him. I want to hear what this guy has to say. We should also incarcerate cops that do the same. No, dumbass. There is no we should also incarcerate cops who do the same. There's a point, dude. Do you believe in rehabilitation or not, you fucking idiot? Going back to not the John Lennon guy, but this guy. Okay? If you're in prison for fucking 40 years doing hard labor, like slave labor, there is no intent for rehabilitation there. It's just utilizing your body. It is the exact same shit. It is the exact same shit the plantations did, okay? Holy fuck. A huge Lennon fan and he's sensitive to people being perceived to be stealing his look. Yeah.
Those statistics, and God gave us favor, and that became Malachi Dads. Just because you're locked up in prison, that does not give you the right to not still be a father. Healthy people who have a heart that's healed, who have a soul that's whole, they want to help, they want to give back, and that's what we do every day.
Why do you think violence has come down in Angola?
When Warren came on the scene, what he did was open up the door of opportunity. He was able to see, if I can get these guys to start coming after success, because what success do, it change the way you think. If I can achieve something, I feel better about myself.
The spread of Christianity inside the prison has brought down the violence rate to a huge degree. But it's also a troubling issue. I mean, what if you're a member of another religion? What if you don't want religion? Can you survive and flourish in the system that Burl Cain has created?
It's not about religion to get you to go to God right immediately and all that kind of thing. It's not that. It's about changing yourself inside so you're a different human being. The inmates are going to congregate in a group. It can be positive or negative. But I want to create a group they can belong to that's going to be positive, that I have some semblance of control of from a distance. We have now a different kind of gang for God. And it can be any religion. We don't care.
Oh my God. Not the Muslim mans though. Them sand devils, I don't want to hear none of that standard religion shit, okay? Only Christian, Judeo-Christian values, okay? It's like a God gang up in here.
Here.
What do you say to people who say that you're using religion as a form of social control?
I'm not using religion, except all I want is the morality in religion, and I can get morality quicker out of religion than I can anywhere else. All I'm seeking is moral rehabilitation.
I've gotten to know some of the Malachi dads pretty well.
There is no moral rehabilitation for the fucking top of the hour ad avoiders, okay? Just kidding. I don't know why I said it like that, but at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. You no longer want to see it, okay? Because everyone is fucking spamming in the chat. All you need to do is subscribe. You can subscribe for $5 or for free. God won't save you, but a $5 a month subscription will, okay? From the ad break, I mean. Yes, that's right. Here is the ad break right now. Coming to you right now. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky, but if you're not lucky, you need to make your own goddamn luck. Yeah, pray to God that maybe you get gifted a sub. Like one from Enraged Gelatin. Louisiana locks up 10 times the number of people per capita than the UK. It's not a crime problem. It's a policy problem from the Prison Policy Initiative. Here it is, dude. Louisiana's incarceration rates. Bro, this is straight the fuck up. It's just slave labor. It is slave labor, okay? That's what it is. That's what it fucking is. I don't know what to tell you if you can't see it. Also, if there is a fucking God and if there is a heaven, let me tell you something. This fucking little freak is not going there, okay? Straight up. It's great, dude. It's a wonderful system, you know? abolish slavery, not without a fight, of course, okay? Abolish slavery, then institutionalize the exact same fucking unjustifiable hierarchy back in the form of Jim Crow laws. Lock up as many black people as you possibly can. Don't offer them any sort of financial restitution, no reparations whatsoever. Give the reparations to the white slave owners. Another, like, a totaling 400 years of, like, rapes, genocide, inequality, slavery. And then be like, oh, man, we pushed you into these, like, underserved corners and basically fucking built concrete around your existence to ensure that you're still separated, even though, you know, the civil rights movement happened already. You know, if you want to get out of that situation, guess what? You can't. You're just going to fucking, you're destined for a life of crime as a only opportunity for social mobility or even survival as a means of survival. Then we're going to criminalize your existence even further. Then we're going to come down on you for in that never-ending cycle of poverty and crime. Then we're going to lock you up for your entire life with no hope for you to get out. And we're going to enslave you while we do that. Okay? That's exactly what they're doing. That's what America is. That's what the American history is all about. 50% of black males 18 to 35 in D.C. are in the criminal justice system, including supervision. Yeah, here's the Louisiana incarceration rates by ethnicity. Holy fuck, dude. Number of people incarcerated per 100,000 people. Holy fuck. 675 is still insanely high for the record. Like, that is an insanely high number. But god damn, dude, look at this. I work in reentry and I teach in jails and prisons. Not only are prisoners exploited for their labor, but the price of essential goods like mid-quality foods are extremely overpriced. Poor people are forced to stay poor. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Commissary is fucking like insanely expensive. Phone calls in fucking prisons, like a human right. You know what I mean? Like being able to call your fucking family is completely controlled by monopolies that make it so that it's impossible to pay for. So that same cycle of poverty is reinforced within the prison structure as well, for the record. And nobody gives a shit because prisoners are not like human. They're not treated like human. And it is constitutionally allowed to enslave them, for the record. That's what the 13th Amendment is about. And then we expect them to get better on their own. Incarcerated people in Alabama get $0. Jobs in state-owned businesses and correctional industries is 25%. On the high end, 75 cents to 25 cents. Alaska, $1.25. Florida has 20 cents to 55 cents an hour. Hawaii has $2.50. That's the highest you can get. Illinois, $2.25. Look at that. Not everyone works in prison facilities. Facilities face budget limitations, and sometimes there's just not enough work to go around. But generally, correctional facilities assign incarcerated people to work as closely as regular day jobs as possible. These work assignments fall into 4 broad categories. Also, this shit's really expensive. You want to know why? Because you got to fucking pay the corrections officer. You got to pay the corrections officer a hell of a lot more with benefits and shit too on top of that to make sure that the prisoner is like, doing a good job. Most furniture, desks, chairs, etc. in schools in Iowa are made by prison labor. You have to pay for your prison clothes before you even get to spend on the commissary.
A religion than I can anywhere else.
And I would say this, you would never know that these were murderers.
I got involved with a conflict with a guy in And I have to live with that mistake that I made in my life when I was 19 years old. 2 young lives.
Bro, 19 years old, brother. 19 fucking years old. And he's spending the rest of his life in doing slave labor in prison, okay? 19 years old, dude. It's over. It's done.
Both destroyed because of...
Meanwhile, Kyle Rittenhouse fucking murks fools and is celebrated like a fucking hero all around the country, dude. How are you gonna fucking sit here if you're a black person and you see this dude, 19 years old, okay, a product of his environment, go out and like get into trouble, actually fucking end up murdering someone, okay, which is a horrible thing for sure, okay? And then you watch America fucking in unison celebrate and turn Kyle Rittenhouse into a fucking hero, dude. This dude has served a sentence 10 times over. Like, how are you going to tell me that that is a justifiable situation? Holy fuck.
Immaturity, really.
If you were ever to get out, A, are you equipped for the outside world? And B, do you think you would ever hurt anyone again?
That man or that personality is dead and gone. That person don't even exist anymore in this world. It was a moment in time that something happened and I reacted in an immature way. But God is redeeming, and this country is founded up on the redemptive process. That life that once took a life can save hundreds of lives.
Earl Cain faced a difficult situation in the 1990s. Federal government cut prisoner education.
By the way, I just want to point out again, justifiable violence versus unjustifiable violence is incredibly important here, okay? People are going to get very mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're 19 years old and you've joined the fucking military, you can go and murder innocent people in the fucking Middle East. And that is totally appropriate. That's totally righteous. And you are expected to be celebrated in American society. If you're 19 years old, you can become a cop and kill someone on the job. And that's actually appropriate. It's collateral damage. It's collateral damage if you're killing a fucking baby in the Middle East. You're 19 years old as a product of your environment and you fucking murder someone, okay? Straight up murder someone. Again, it's still unjustifiable. It's still violent. And you go to prison for the rest of your life. Everyone is like talking about how you should be a slave for the rest of your life. Then that is appropriate. Understand that murder is still murder. You're still ending an innocent life, okay? But the way we treat murders is not the same. It's who you are allowed to kill and how you are allowed to kill and who you are while doing the killing. That's what makes it justifiable or unjustifiable. Understand that. I wonder how the families would feel if you asked them to let the person who murdered their sons and daughters out would react. First and foremost, rehabilitative justice actually does feature the approach features victims and the victims' families in rehabilitation. So there is retribution in that regard. And what you're describing is not justice. What you're describing is vengeance, my friend. And that is not how we write or how we're supposed to write a criminal justice system. It's not called the criminal vengeance system. That's not justice. That's just vengeance. But there are plenty of instances where people actually are in the victim's family and petition state governments to release the fucking prisoner. They recognize the person's rehabilitation, but the state refuses to recognize it. So you're not even right. You just fucking brought that in here in the chat just to make a counterpoint. You see people's lives get destroyed. Entire families destroyed for generations. People subjugated into intergenerational poverty and violence. continuing that cycle of violence with no fucking with no restitution whatsoever, with no way of fixing that system, and you still try to justify it by saying, "Hey, what about the victims?" But you don't give a fuck about the victims. Okay, if the victims say you should release this man, and as many do in a lot of instances where they do recognize the rehabilitation of the perpetrator, the state still doesn't do it. So why are you operating like the state? Why are you reinforcing that violence? Because you're a pathetic little entitled man baby, okay? That's why. You're a little scaredy cat. You piss and shit your diapers all day, every day, and you're angry at the fucking universe. So you, in the most cowardly and pathetic way you can, want violence to happen to other people, whether you recognize it or not. You want violence to happen to other people, and you're too much of a pussy to do it on your own, thankfully. So you're like reinforcing the state violence on people that you're afraid of, reinforcing the state violence that is already existing on people that you're afraid of. You have a broken, revenge-focused brain, dude. And that's not a good way to live. You're never going to be happy if you consistently seek out despair. I was locked up in a very anti-Hispanic county prison, and I would go days without food, abused by guards, constantly called slurs. I was washed with hoses and abused. To this day, I struggle to find work to get my life together because of it. Oh yeah, that's the other part of it. I feel it's totally justified, but when you kill someone, you destroy his life too. No, I agree. When you kill someone, you end his life. You end their life, and you ruin the lives of so many other loved ones that person lived with. Okay? But the solution is to avoid that. The solution is to try and stop additional murders from fucking happening. I'm not saying that, like, there should never be someone who is incarcerated. You know, there are instances for incarceration. There are instances where incarceration is a necessity. Okay, some form of institutionalization is a necessity. But the goal ultimately is to make sure that these people do not go out and do the crimes again. Okay? The goal of our prison system is it's laughable to even bring this up because we are so far removed from that reality, but the goal of the carceral state or the prison system is supposed to actually be, theoretically, reducing the likelihood that offenders re-offend. But Americans are so bloodthirsty that they refuse to see the need for education. They refuse to see the need for rehabilitation, and just simply are operating on this gung-ho fucking attitude that, like, if you've done a crime, you deserve to be murdered immediately.
Funds. So he needed to do something with these prisoners. He brought in a seminary, and he also started what has turned out to be one of Louisiana's largest vocational institutes.
We're in the automotive tech shop where they train a lot of the reentry inmates. These are guys who are going to get out in 5 or 10 years, where they train them in mechanics.
My name is John Sheehan. I've been over the automotive technology school since June 2011.
And you're an ASC certified?
I'm a master ASC certified technician.
And you supervise the whole operation?
I supervise the whole operation. These men that are sitting here at the table and working on this car, they are going home. And if I can help change their lives to where they're going to be a father, they're going to be a husband, they're going to be a better son to their mother, then I'm giving back to society. And I feel good about that.
And I should point out, because people don't automatically assume this, that you're not a state employee.
No, sir, I'm not a state employee. I forgot to tell you that. I'm going on 29 years come November of a life sentence inside of Louisiana State Penitentiary.
You've been here for 29 years?
Been here for 29 years.
And you're in for what crime?
I'm in for second-degree murder.
Second-degree murder.
First offender.
Lifetime without the possibility
Life
of parole.
without probation, or parole.
Life without parole. And who did you kill? Who was the murder victim?
My wife.
That was your wife.
My first wife. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been through a process of...
Hey, motherfucker got a second wife in prison. That's crazy. I guess when you live in that situation, it's like, doesn't matter. You can get a wife at that point. Might as well, right?
of redemption.
There's nothing I can ever do to go back and change what happened where I wish I could, but by changing my life to the better is to help these young men to change their lives.
Like, what's up? You think that guy's gonna go out and kill people? Here, let's use the white guy example because there's a lot of white people in the chat who are unfortunately genetically unable to fucking see black people as like innocent or have the capability of being innocent. So like, let's use the white guy as an example. Maybe that'll be more palatable for the chatters. You think this guy after fucking 30 years is gonna go out and be like, I can't wait to get out so I can kill my second wife? Homie looks like, you know, the dad in a group at the barbecue. You know what I mean? That's the problem. No one knows. Probably not. But if he does, then what? I'll probably get banned, but we just disagree on this issue. Wait, why would I ban you for just being a dumbass, dude? Why would I ban you for being an American dumbass? It is the most American dumbass position to have. That like someone who has literally changed their life and has helped more people than you, by the way. Like that dude murdered someone. He murdered his first wife. And now, how does that make you feel? You're a pathetic little fucking loser in a Twitch chat anonymously talking about how like prisoners deserve violent retribution. Okay? And that man has touched more lives and helped more people than you have. How about you fix your own goddamn brain first? Okay? Ask his fucking wife, dude. She's dead. You can't bring her back. No, bro. Why you defend him? Because, dude. Because I defend him because I think the people have the capacity to fucking change. People have the capacity to fucking change. And it takes way less than fucking 30 years. Does prison labor go to the victims or the prison? If they go to the prison, that needs to be abolished? What kind of fucking dumbass take is this, dude? God, Americans are impossible. Brother, I agree with you 99.9% of the stuff you say, but I just can't with this take. It doesn't matter, my friend, because the proof is in the fucking pudding. There is a reason why recidivism rates are significantly lower in places like Norway, where they have a way more humane treatment of fucking prisoners than a country like the United States, okay? It doesn't matter if you agree with me or not. Yes, of course you don't agree with me. You're a fucking Amerifat brain-dead idiot. Of course you don't agree with me. Because you're born in America. You're an American. It's a literal fucking genetic disability, okay? Being born as an American and and growing up in America is a significant mental illness that is impossible to fucking solve. You are draconian. You are puritanical. You're a hyper-individualist, okay? I try to work against that every fucking day. But it is literally, it's a part of your consciousness. Every facet of entertainment, every part of existence has told you that, like, this is appropriate. You got to fucking murder people who have done murders. Okay? And all matter of evidence shows you that rehabilitative approaches to justice is actually significantly more successful, is actually significantly better at reducing recidivism, is actually better. And yet you still say, la, 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 I can't hear you. You have this take when it comes to guns. You can recognize it. Probably because you don't shoot guns, I assume. You're one of the few Americans that don't. So you think, well, guns, I don't shoot guns. I like Funko Pops. I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe instead of fucking guns. So I don't see it in the same way. I do think that it's crazy that we have like this crazy gun culture. And I do think we should do something about it. You do look to fucking Europe when it comes to that sort of shit. But when it comes to this, you're like, I'm an American. No one has ever convinced me otherwise. No one has ever shown me that like vengeance is not the way. And I try to bring this into cancel culture so it's more palatable for some of you to understand, because that draconian attitude is in every facet of American existence, including fucking cancel culture. That's the reason why people are like, oh, you said something 25 years ago. You said something 10 years ago. You need to be murdered for that. There's a reason why Americans are fucking psychotic, okay? We operate on vengeance. We're angry people. We're hurt people. And we have never faced an alternative solution. We have never even thought about it And even thinking about it makes us fear and shit our pants, okay? I agree with you 99% of the time, and this is one of those times too. But doesn't the victim's family have a right to some sort of vengeance? No, dude. What the fuck? That's not how that works. Turns out the white prisoner helped until they found out he murdered his wife. Yeah, exactly. Now they're like, yeah, no, he's not helping, actually. Fuck that guy. What are you going to do, bro? You want to kill that guy? You want to fucking, you want to strangle him with your bare hands, dude? Is that going to bring back his wife? No. He's been in prison for 30 years. Yeah, I don't understand. Do you guys like Death Note because you think like, you know, it was good? Like, you want to be Death Note? You want to just like scribble someone's name in a fucking book and like murder them if they've done a crime, dude?
Probably have about $300,000 or better worth of equipment and tools inside of this shop right here.
Right. And so, I mean, the interesting thing here to me, as an outsider, is the idea that maximum security prison has not only a ball-peen hammer, not only
Look at
these
that. When a pussy like Jeffrey here is unafraid of standing next to a fucking murderer, like literally, this guy's a murderer, okay? And this fucking pussy ass lib, even though he's center right reactionary, obviously, is like standing next to this fucking murderer with like weapons that he could use to murder him immediately. You know that motherfucker's rehabilitated. Okay? When fucking Angola has decided you can have murder weapons in your vicinity and handle them, you've been rehabilitated, brother, okay? Straight up.
tools accessible, but prisoners are also in charge of monitoring the tools. I have to.
Domestic violence is a whole different thing. Dude, what is the, what? It's a whole different thing. What? Okay. Do you think he's he's going to go kill his next wife, dude? Is that what you think? He's going to come out of prison and immediately go kill his next wife, dude? He already saw the repercussions of doing a murder, okay? 30 years in prison. Oh, it blows my fucking mind, dude.
To think that's an unusual.
I already started this conversation by showing you a Shreveport sheriff straight up say, we can't be letting these motherfuckers out of prison because the ones that are capable of leaving prison are the ones that are the best workers. And you're still in the chat being like, no, there's something more to it. We should make sure that they stay in prison forever because I'm afraid. My stepdad is in prison for killing a rapist who assaulted his friend's sister. He went to prison for life at age 19. He made a huge mistake as a very young adult and has lived in prison his whole adult life. He has also gotten his GED, bachelor's degree, and is trying to get a master's. People change. Exactly.
It definitely is.
Situation. There's something so odd and infuriating about a system in which proper vocational education and mentoring and life skills education and anger management education and substance abuse and mental health, where all of this is done after they've committed violent crimes or after they've committed felonies.
Jeff be like, unless they're Palestinians, in which case they should rot and I will beat them and torture them. But also these guys, not so bad. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. He's so close to arriving at the truth, by the way.
I think one of the things that just strikes you in a place like this, more than almost anything else, is that we have everything reversed.
You've been a criminal, but you get old enough and you get wise enough that it's really not what you're about anymore.
Doesn't a longer sentence discourage others from repeating that crime? If that was the case, America would be crime-free, dude. We have the 3 strikes law. What are you talking about? It is straight up the exact opposite, okay? It doesn't fucking matter.
Anymore. We had to have a victim to send him here. And
Chatters be like, Joe Brandon, my love, my beloved. Chatters be like, I love Joe Brandon, actually. Specifically for his Jim Crow Joe shit. For his crime bill. That's crazy, dude. That's wild. You're on twitch.tv watching like one of the few leftist voices. And even in here, you're like, nah, actually the 3 strikes law is pretty poggers. I love it. But it's because you're scared. It's because you're scared. You're afraid. You're afraid of people that do like violent things. So you're like, okay, like they should literally stay the fuck away from me. They have no way of re-entering society. I feel more comfortable if they're slaves for the rest of their lives.
And get them prepared to go back out in society and be successful. God help us. Somebody's got to be hurt, murdered, killed before we'll recognize the problem we have and go back and fix it. But in corrections, we didn't do it for so long because we all believed that we were just supposed to lock them up. We forgot corrections means correct deviant behavior.
There's a hypocrisy in the way we talk about these problems in America. We tend to focus on what do the police do wrong? What are the prisons doing wrong? But the prisons and the police are doing what we and our legislators want them to do. Angola is just the receiving end of the problem.
Angola is so bucolic that sometimes you can.
You ask your friend Christian about his dad's tenure at Langley? What? Christian Walker? What?
Forget that this is a maximum security prison where Burl Cain uses solitary confinement as a form of control. And
wait, did he say Angola?
Angola
is the victim?
Is just the receiving end of the problem.
Angola is so bucolic that sometimes you can forget that this is a maximum security prison where Burl Cain uses solitary confinement as a form of control and punishment. And of course you can forget that this is the home of Louisiana's death row. Burl Cain supervises death row just the way he supervises everything else in this prison.
After we had the last meal with Gerald Bordelon, the last person executed, he wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So he wanted Jif's peanut butter cream and he wanted apple jelly. So we bought him what he wanted and we had the last meal with him. But anyway, I picked the jelly up and the peanut butter and here it is.
May I?
Sure. He and I both ate 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches each.
Yeah, you did eat 2 peanut butter sandwiches, motherfucker. That's so weird, dude. It's like a trophy, dude. You should have just like kept this, you know. So weird that he kept it.
And we said, we said the blessing over the meal. He was a Christian guy, but he wanted to be executed because he had done a horrendous, horrible crime. And he said if he got away from me, he was going to do it again. But he was adamant. It was almost like suicide.
Right.
This business is very, very complex. And to maintain your own sanity, you have to navigate through both sides of it and just keep the keys and carry out the law and just truck it on.
We've gone through a long period in America where it's all about punishment and it's all about mandatory life. But
yeah, you know, doing a state-sponsored execution gets my insides going, Jeff. You don't understand nothing. It smacks real good when you got not 1 but 2 apple jelly peanut butter sandwiches right as you're about to go do a killing. You know, I loved feeding him and then hitting that button right after. You understand? And let me tell you something, I snuck in a third right after, okay? Once he was dead, I snuck in a third one, okay?
But if you come here, you actually meet these people and you realize, or you at least
like,
have...
Chatters be like, wait, hold on.
You actually meet these people and you...
Chatters be like, that guy should not get out of prison, okay? Chatters will look to this dude and be like, no, thank God. Thank God he's still in jail, dude, okay? Thank God, okay? A menace to society. Who knows? He's done it and he will do it again, okay? Wow, sweaty. Involuntary manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter is a joke to you? What if he fucking runs over someone with his wheelchair? Huh? You ever think about that?
You realized, or you at least have the inkling of a feeling that maybe there's something to the idea that the people they were when they killed other people, those people are gone, and that something new is taken root.
When you look at the problem of mandatory sentencing, not through the eyes of defense attorneys or liberal prison reformers, but from the warden of Louisiana State Penitentiary.
This is fucking insane, by the way. Like, this was a PR piece for Angola, but because Angola is so horrific, like, it's so awful, it of course still ends up getting the point across that this is like completely unacceptable.
And he says, this system is absurd. You really begin to see the maddening aspect of this problem.
Chatter. It's not the same as like murder, but if you can understand that someone who is very different from the age of 19 to the age of 24, you can understand how a 19-year-old is a completely different person after spending 20 years in fucking prison. Okay? Yo, we doing the quarry later, boss? That's been a pretty cozy part of the stream. Yes.